after 5 miscarriages following our marriage. I always thought there was something wrong with my body. That was until I overheard his conversation with a friend. That's when I learned he had severe oligospermia. Even if I managed to conceive, the pregnancy would most likely end in miscarriage. His friend Ryan asked, "Why put Lily through all this? Being child-free isn't so bad." Ethan responded, "What man doesn't want an heir? I'll never give up trying. Worst case, she'll have a few more miscarriages. There's always a chance it might work eventually. It's not like my body's taking the damage anyway." When we returned from the hospital, Ethan carefully helped me lie down. His smile remained as gentle as ever. "Don't overthink it. When the time's right, we'll have our baby." But my voice caught before I could say already lost 5. He seemed to anticipate my words. Picking up a warm towel from the nightstand, he dabbed at the cold sweat on my forehead. "Lily, you're just stressed. If we never have children, I'll accept that. We can live child-free." His tenderness warmed me yet deepened my guilt. We'd been married 2 years with 5 failed pregnancies, chemical pregnancies, missed miscarriages. He'd voluntarily undergone full fertility testing, presenting clean results. The unspoken conclusion haunted me: the problem must be mine. I avoided follow-up exams, clinging to hope that less stress might help. But repeated ultrasound reports showing still hard slapped me with reality. My body deteriorated: uterine polyps, thinning walls, adhesions, irregular cycles. Ethan never complained, accompanying me to every appointment. He adopted early bedtimes, foot soaks, and gave up caffeine. During consultations, he'd take meticulous notes on his phone. His eyes lit up with each positive test only to dim weeks later. Now, as he tucked me in and headed to the kitchen, exhaustion pulled me under. I woke to darkness and padded barefoot toward muffled voices. Through the bedroom door crack, I saw Ethan and Ryan silhouetted on the balcony, cigarette embers glowing. "You're really making Lily endure this again?" Ryan's whisper carried reproach. Ethan exhaled smoke. His profile blurred in the haze. "What choice do I have? With my sperm count? We have to keep trying. Maybe next time." The glass door swallowed the rest. But the trailing ash burned brighter than his words. I froze. The numbers were off. Not easy to conceive. Though it was summer. My blood turned to ice in that moment. "Holy shit. Can't you just go child-free?" Ryan's voice rose with shock and something darker. "This is pure torture. 5 times? No one's body can handle that abuse." Ethan's blurred profile reflected in the glass door. He chuckled low, flicking cigarette ash with detached amusement. "Men need heirs," he drawled. "I won't quit. 10 tries. 20, eventually it'll stick. So what if she miscarries a few more times?" I bit my lip until copper flooded my mouth. My body trembled with rage and bone deep cold. "Ethan, this is monstrous." Ryan lowered his voice. "She's your wife, not a machine." My wife's college friend lost a fallopian tube after 2 miscarriages. You know what that does. "So?" Ethan exhaled smoke. "Her little sacrifices outweigh my low sperm count? Besides," his voice turned mocking, "she loves those positive tests. Crying, laughing, clinging to me like she won the lottery. Emotional payoff, right? Fair trade." The cigarette glowed as he leaned forward. "Truth? I never wanted her." But when she threw herself at me, he shrugged. "Sophia would have walked. Lily? Desperate enough to keep trying. My genes need carrying on." My knees buckled. I slid down the door, hand clamped over retching sobs. Every miscarriage, every tender moment, all staged. Memories flashed, his mother Maggie screaming at my hospital bed, "Real women keep babies." Ethan's Oscar-worthy defense, "I choose her over children." His sister Emily's visits, give my brother sons. His performative protests, daughters are fine. The hardwood chilled through my jeans. Their voices continued for an hour before fading toward bars and bourbon. I stayed motionless, tasting blood and betrayal. The two men closed the door and slipped away quietly. I lay back on the bed, wide awake as my mind raced with plans. At 7 a.m, Ethan returned carrying breakfast. He reheated the takeout congee on the stove and steamed several bousy buns. Still wearing yesterday's wrinkled shirt with disheveled hair and exhaustion etched across his face. "Darling," I called out, tiptoeing toward him with my phone. He turned immediately, concern flooding his features. "You're up already?" "I started making oatmeal earlier, it's not ready yet." "Go rest. I'll wake you when it's done." His hand reached to guide me back to bed. I sidestepped his touch with a bright smile, waving my phone. "The company just announced free family member screenings at Mercy General Hospital near your office this year." Pressing my cheek against his back, I added, "Let's both get checked before we're too busy with kids later." His muscles tensed imperceptibly. "Physicals?" His tone carried forced nonchalance. "I'm perfectly healthy. Take Maggie instead if you want to use the slot." "No." I pouted playfully, clinging to him. "My coworkers keep begging to meet my handsome husband after seeing your photos." "I already promised them this morning." "That's awkward, sharing medical exams with strangers." "We'll just say quick hellos then split up. Men and women have separate testing areas anyway." My fingers traced circles on his chest. "The reports go straight to our phones, they won't see anything." His eyes flickered with unease before he sighed in mock defeat, ruffling my hair. "Fine. Send me the details." "You're the best." I cheered, burying my face in his shirt to hide my frozen smile. The following Monday, Ethan shifted nervously in Mercy General's lobby, his gaze darting toward the urology wing. When his number flashed on the screen, I trailed discreetly behind. After providing his semen sample, he glanced around the empty collection room. With practiced speed, he swapped labels between his vial and another patient's specimen before placing them on the rack. My phone captured every movement. "All done?" I approached casually as he exited. "My own tests completed. Just waiting for results now." He slung an arm around my shoulders. "They'll email you directly, no need to bother me with it." "Of course." I smiled, clutching our paperwork. The optometrist's note about worsening astigmatism glinted in my hand like a trophy. "I'll go submit the report then." He nodded, lounging comfortably in his chair while scrolling through his phone. I returned to the specimen racks. Seizing the empty lab, I swiftly swapped the labels back on 2 test tubes. 3 days later, the hospital app notification popped up, checkup results available for review. My fingers trembled as I clicked the link and entered my credentials. The loading screen stretched into eternity before finally revealing Ethan's name and photo atop the medical report. Scrolling past endless charts, I landed on the second-to-last page: reproductive health evaluation. Numbers blurred before my eyes until 2 figures burned through: 98% abnormal sperm morphology. The bolded conclusion stabbed at my retinas: severe oligospermia. The sterile diagnosis froze the air. 5 miscarriages. 5 years of his accusations about my defective womb. I screenshot the page, thumb hovering over the Wilson family group chat. Let the whole clan see their precious heirs. My rage faltered as new lines materialized below. Genetic screening indicates pathogenic BRCA1 mutation. 4 centimeters irregular gastric ulcer with elevated margins, high malignancy suspicion. Recommend biopsy. Cancer. The word shimmered with cruel poetry. This man who demanded I risk death for his legacy now carried death in his own genes. My pity drowned under dark satisfaction. Let him keep ignoring annual checkups. Let the time bomb tick. I downloaded the full report, deleted the malignancy note, and saved the edited PDF. The door beeped open, Ethan entered with takeout bags. Home Aurea, his smile died mid-sentence. Eyes locking onto my phone screen. Results came in. His forced casualness cracked as he reached for my device. All good. Right? Told you we just needed to try harder. I stepped back, letting the unaltered report glow between us. Ethan. I smiled, watching blood drain from his face. Care to explain why your swimmers look like abstract art? His hand twitched toward the deleted findings. My thumb blocked the scroll. Some surprises taste better served cold. The screen glared back at his ashen face. The bold, blackened diagnosis reflected in his dilated pupils. Severe oligospermia. I enunciated each syllable with clinical detachment, as if reading a grocery list. Extremely low probability of natural conception. Recommended to consult reproductive specialists. Ethan's body swayed violently. He stared at the monitor, stumbling backward until his spine collided with the wall, the dull thud echoing through the examination room. When his wild eyes met mine, desperation twisted his features. No, this has to be wrong. We'll get a second opinion. Another test. This can't be wrong? My laugh held Arctic chill. 5 miscarriages. Ethan. 5 times you held my hand in recovery rooms. Crocodile tears dripping while scheming to get me pregnant again. Was it entertaining? Watching me hemorrhage? Seeing my uterus scraped clean like trash? My hands trembled remembering cold stirrups and surgical steel. Every word came out diamond hard. You knew. You fucking knew your swimmers were duds. What are you? Some kind of psychopath? Ethan crumpled to the linoleum, jaw working soundlessly like a beached fish. I stared down at the human puddle, then dialed Maggie on speakerphone. The ringtone sliced through suffocating silence. No. Don't, he lunged for the device. But I stepped back as Maggie's shrill hello erupted. Mother-in-law. I cut through her greeting. All those years demanding grandchildren? Your precious son shoots blanks. Those chubby Wilson heirs you wanted? Better start praying for immaculate conception. The scream that followed could have shattered glass. Lies. You barren bitch. My boy's seed is strong, it's your rotten womb poisoning. Emily's shriek overlapped her mother's. Lily. You psychotic cunt. My brother's perfect. You're the curse destroying our family. I'll rip your lying tongue. Ethan curled fetal on the floor, trembling violently as notification pings announced the lab report hitting family group chats. His pallor matched the bleach-white walls. I hung up mid-tirade. Blessed silence descended. Suddenly Ethan scrambled up, clutching my ankles. Lily. Please, it's a mistake. We'll do IVF. I'll get treatments. You love me. I peeled his fingers off like removing leeches. See you in court. Ethan. I'm annulling this fraud marriage. Congenital fertility defects? Genetic mutations? You knew. This was always reproductive coercion. His face drained beyond pale. What mutations? What the hell? Read the fucking report. I spat, retreating to slam and lock the bedroom door. The thud of his body sliding down the hallway wall was my lullaby. Dawn found me gathering legal documents. The apartment door burst open before I touched the knob. Maggie and Emily charged in like rabid wolverines. Emily led the assault. Features contorted. You home-wrecking slut. Her acrylic nail jabbed at my face. How dare you slander, Lily? You heartless wretch. My brother treated you so well. And now you want to ditch him after finding out about his health issues? Have you no humanity? Maggie followed closely, plopping onto the floor and wailing while slapping her thighs. Our family's cursed to have married this jinx. Ethan was perfectly healthy before wedding her. All their constant fights ruined his health and made him infertile. You think you can escape? You'll slave away for our Wilson family until you bear a son. Neighbors peered through windows as Emily squared her hips and shouted, even if he's sick. You must have infected him. Men don't just get these things. Ethan's always been healthy, it's your shameless behavior that corrupted him. Arms crossed. I watched their theatrics coldly. When their tirade subsided, I drawled, we all know the truth, he's defective. Faulty body. Faulty genes. Heaven itself wants his bloodline extinct. Emily's face mottled with rage. Emboldened by the audience, she shrieked, bullshit. You're the curse. No court will let you divorce over some made-up genetic excuse. Drag her back inside. Maggie screeched. She's not leaving. Raising an eyebrow. I leaned in. My whisper slicing through their hysteria, try stopping me. And I'll plaster 1,000 copies of Ethan's fertility report across your village and his workplace. Let's see who'd marry your defective golden child then. Emily trembled violently. Lips quivering into silence. I'm using genetic disease as grounds for divorce to spare your family's dignity. I smiled icily. Don't make me reconsider. Maggie's mouth snapped shut. I shoved past them. At the law firm, I detailed everything and requested marriage annulment based on Ethan's concealed genetic disorder. The attorney listened intently before sighing, Mrs. Carter. While I sympathize, annulments apply to contagious diseases or mental illness. Asymptomatic genetic mutations with 50% inheritance risk don't qualify. Ethan might not even know about this mutation. My heart sank despite anticipating this. Divorce proceedings meant prolonged battles with Ethan and his wretched family. How long until his cancer progressed? If it's early stage, don't lose hope. The lawyer brightened. His concealment of infertility causing 5 traumatic abortions gives strong grounds for favorable divorce terms and substantial damages. These medical records, she tapped my file, could secure significant compensation given the psychological harm. Flames of determination rekindled in my chest. Divorce. Freedom from this monster. I signed the litigation papers without hesitation. When contacted, Ethan's voice dripped venom instead of previous desperation. Divorce? Sure. Lily. Just repay the $200,000 bride price. Wedding costs. Gold jewelry. Abortion fees. Mom's supplements. My lost wages. IVF consultations. Every penny. Or else, his sinister chuckle echoed through the receiver. My phone holds quite a collection of treasures, all those candid shots I've secretly taken of you. Such expressive angles. Such private moments. Imagine if these accidentally leaked out. TSK. You bastard. Ethan. My hands trembled with rage. Blood pounding in my temples as I nearly crushed the device. This despicable worm had been spying on me. Then dared use it as blackmail. Me? You drove me to this. Lily. Ethan's voice dripped with reckless defiance. Didn't you threaten my sister and mother first? Tit for tat. Pay up and I'll sign the divorce papers while deleting these. Or watch your reputation burn, see how you'll face the world afterward. His mocking chuckle echoed before the line went dead. As the dial tone buzzed in my ear, Emily's call pierced through my fury. Lily. Ethan's willing to divorce. She announced with condescension. But don't think you're walking away unscathed. Compensation for fertility treatments. Emotional distress. Lost wages, $50,000 minimum. Otherwise. Maggie's shrill voice cut in, you barren jinx. My son's infertility is your curse. Pay up or we'll plaster those photos at your office. Shame your parents into the gutter. Their venomous lies suddenly crystallized my resolve. Emily. Maggie. I replied with icy calm. Rather than harassing me, you should check Ethan's health. 98% abnormal sperm morphology. Genetic mutations. Who knows what other time bombs lurk in that defective DNA? Deliberately pausing, I continued, Emily dear. Get tested too. That nephew of yours always seemed off. Wouldn't want your husband blaming you if he bolts later. And Maggie, your precious bloodline's clearly tainted. Passing on these defects? What sin? Dead silence. Then Emily's shriek, You venomous witch. Cursing my family. Maggie's wails followed. Heaven strike this heartless harlot down. I disconnected with contempt. Curses? Only truths they couldn't stomach. My lawyer had already filed the lawsuit when an unexpected player emerged, Sophia. Ethan's first love. She bombarded my phone with vitriol. Lily. How dare you destroy Ethan's life? He only married you because you schemed to steal him from me. I nearly laughed. Steal? More like your precious Ethan feared exposing his defective genes. Sophia sneered, so he has minor health issues? Love conquers all. We'll have children naturally, unlike your cold-hearted betrayal. Her delusional ranting barely registered. Let this white knight play savior to Ethan's damsel in distress. With Sophia's arrival, Ethan hastily signed the divorce papers. The moment the agreement was secured, I withdrew the lawsuit. On divorce day, Sophia clung to Ethan's arm at the courthouse, radiating triumphant pity. Let them have their diseased fairy tale. My freedom required no audience. Watching the two of them embracing, I suddenly felt a bitter irony. Perhaps Ethan had truly loved Sophia once. But now, his desperate craving for offspring had completely overwhelmed whatever reluctance he'd had about ruining her life. Sophia's arrival must have seemed like divine intervention to him, his last hope for continuing the Wilson family line. The very day I moved out of Ethan's place, Sophia eagerly moved in. She not only doted on Ethan with excruciating attentiveness but even brought Maggie over to live with them. Her social media flooded with inspirational quotes. True love conquers all obstacles. Physical imperfections can't stop two hearts meant to be. And our future begins now. All accompanied by blurry photos of their intertwined hands. Emily and Maggie treated Sophia like the second coming of Christ, boasting to every relative about her noble sacrifice and constantly mentioning her childbearing hips perfect for delivering healthy baby boys. Before leaving, I'd installed a discreet camera in their living room. Now watching their domestic bliss through my phone screen, the absurdity made me nauseous. I wondered how long this charade would last once Sophia discovered the time bomb in Ethan's stomach. Ethan's gastric attacks were becoming more frequent. He'd collapse on the couch after work, barely moving until dinner. The pain always intensified after meals. Through the camera feed, I saw him grimacing as his hand unconsciously kneaded his abdomen. He shoved a water glass away irritably, complaining to Sophia, "Damn it. My stomach's been burning nonstop. Something's seriously wrong. Probably ate too much meat. Don't make dinner for me tomorrow." Sophia snuggled against his chest, massaging his stomach with sickeningly sweet tone. "Was it that awful Lily who stressed you out? Forget her. Ethan. I'm here now." When Ethan tried pushing her away muttering about nausea, she froze momentarily before grabbing his neck for a passionate kiss. "Better now?" she purred. The hungry glint returning to Ethan's eyes answered as he flipped her over. All discomfort forgotten. When Sophia presented the ultrasound weeks later, Ethan's voice cracked with euphoria. "Pregnant? Already? With a heartbeat? I'm gonna be a dad. Knew God wouldn't abandon a good man like me." His celebratory hug was interrupted by violent gastric spasms. Maggie collapsed weeping to kneel on the floor. Bowing to invisible ancestors, our Wilson line continues. Clutching Sophia's hands tearfully, she vowed, "You'll be my own daughter once that baby comes." The household basked in joyful anticipation. Ethan treated Sophia like royalty, fetching drinks, foot massages, transferring his entire savings to her account. After 3 months, when the pregnancy stabilized, Maggie traveled to their hometown announcing the news to every relative, distributing celebratory eggs. Ethan began researching gender reveal clinics. His perpetual grin only broken when doubling over mid-stride. Clutching his stomach, he staggered toward the couch before collapsing unconscious. Ethan was rushed to the hospital. When the test results came in, the doctor's grave expression said it all before ordering a biopsy. The pathology report hit him like a death sentence: tumor invasion into deep gastric wall layers with regional lymph node metastasis. Stage 4 gastric cancer with metastases. The color drained from Ethan's face as he stared at the report. Cancer? His trembling hands nearly dropped the paperwork. Stage 4? Metastasized? There must be some mistake. The physician shook his head grimly. All confirmatory tests, CT scans and tumor markers, are consistent. You need to be admitted immediately. Ethan collapsed into the chair, his entire body shaking uncontrollably. Maggie fainted on the spot. They checked into the oncology ward that afternoon. When Sophia finally appeared that evening, all traces of her former warmth had vanished. She lingered near the doorway, arms crossed over her barely visible baby bump. We need to talk. Ethan. Struggling to sit up. Ethan's eyes crinkled with desperate hope at the sight of her rounded stomach. Sophia, you came. His outstretched hand met empty air as she stepped back. I'm terminating the pregnancy, she stated coldly. 3 voices exploded in outrage simultaneously. Ethan's hand froze mid-reach as Emily lunged forward screaming, Sophia. Have you lost your mind? That's our family's last hope. Maggie dropped to her knees, clutching at Sophia's designer leggings. I'm begging you. Sobs racked her frail body as she kowtowed 3 times. Forehead smacking linoleum. Keep the baby, I'll raise it myself. Take whatever you want. Sophia kicked free with a disgusted snort. Why should I birth damaged goods from a dying man? You think I want some sickly brat ruining my prospects? Maggie's wails escalated to hyperventilation. I'll do everything. Just let him live. 2 million. Sophia examined her manicure. Wire it within 72 hours or I'm at the clinic. Emily shrieked. That's extortion. Where would we get that kind of money? Maggie wheezed through tears. How would we provide for 2 million for your precious bloodline seems fair. Sophia's gel nails clicked against her phone. Clocks ticking. Ethan's labored breathing filled the sterile room as he glared at his wife. Any lingering affection replaced by venomous hatred. After an eternity of silence, his trembling hand rose in surrender. Mom. Give it to her. Emily. Help me sell the house and give her the money. Emily swiftly sold Ethan's marital home at 20% below market value. She emptied her savings, borrowed from every relative, and exhausted all possible lending options. A week later, $2 million landed in Sophia's account. The moment the transfer cleared, Sophia finally relented. Don't worry. I'll take good care of the baby. But, her tone shifted. I need complete bed rest. Since the house is sold, I'm moving back to my parents. Don't disturb me during my pregnancy. She grabbed her purse and left the hospital room without glancing back. Ethan watched her leave, then coughed up dark blood staining the white sheets. Emily and Maggie's wails echoed through the ward. Sophia became a ghost after receiving the money, ignoring texts, dodging calls. When she occasionally answered, her replies were curt, everything's fine. Stop bothering me. Emily and Maggie's attempts to visit her parents' home were repeatedly rebuffed. Swallowing their doubts for the sake of their grandson, they focused on caring for Ethan. Ethan's health deteriorated rapidly. Chemotherapy left him bald and skeletal, sustained by machines. Desperate, he bombarded my phone, Lily. I was wrong. You're the only one who ever cared. Come back. Lily. I'm begging you. Emily's busy with work and her kid. Maggie's exhausted. You're all I have. I know I broke your heart. Give me another chance. Lily. You heartless bitch. I'm dying and you won't even see me? I'll haunt you forever. I blocked him everywhere. 6 months later, Sophia delivered a boy. When the news reached Ethan's deathbed, a final spark lit his eyes. Quick! Emily! Bring me my son. After hours of stalling, Sophia sent a single photo. Ethan struggled to view Emily's phone. His hopeful expression shattered. This, his finger trembled on the screen. blue eyes? Our family doesn't have blue eyes. The fair-skinned infant had curly brown hair and half-lidded azure eyes, adorable yet undeniably foreign. DNA test. Ethan roared. Veins bulging. Emily. Get a paternity test now. Emily and Maggie paled, examining the photo. Sophia! Emily screamed into the phone. This child looks nothing like Ethan. Bring him here immediately. Sure. Sophia replied with eerie calm. I'll come this afternoon. She arrived at the hospital that day. She came alone. Her face haggard and steps unsteady. Looking like she'd just given birth. Yet a triumphant smile played on her lips. Tipping her chin at Emily. Sophia drawled. You all can leave now. I need to speak with Ethan. Emily exchanged nervous glances with Maggie. Sophia chuckled darkly. What's there to fear? You think I'd harm him? Relax, the baby's nearby. Once we're done talking, I'll bring him straight to you. After agonizing hesitation, Emily finally dragged Maggie out of the room. Sophia sauntered to the bedside. Venom dripping from her words, pathetic. Did you actually believe I'd bear a child for a broke, sickly loser like you? Dream on. I picked you because you're damaged goods, dumped by your ex-wife. Desperate for a family. And guess what? I happened to be knocked up by some random guy. You were the perfect mark. The words struck Ethan like a thunderclap. His body seized violently. Eyes bulging. Sophia sneered. Surprise! Before we met, I worked at that clinic where you got your physical. Oh, the things I saw in your file. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Delicious. And your idiot sister? She barked a laugh. Begged me to keep the baby with $2 million. Joke's on her, the kid's actually from my rich ex-boyfriend overseas. Once I squeeze more cash from him, I'm golden. Her voice oozed malice. Thank God you're dying. Can you imagine being shackled to this train wreck? Now I'm free, loaded, and ready to upgrade. That rotting corpse of yours making babies? Try the next life. Loser. Bye-bye. Having unloaded her vitriol, Sophia strutted out like a prize-winning rooster. Thud. Ethan arched off the bed, blood erupting from his mouth in a crimson arc across the stark white walls. His eyes, wide with rage and desolation, fixed glassily on the ceiling as his body went limp. Emily and Maggie stumbled back into the room, paralyzed by the nightmarish scene. Before they could react, Ethan convulsed once, then fell still. The heart monitor's shrill alarm pierced the air. 4-3 heartbeats. Silence. Then twin wails tore through the hospital, and oh, my son, Ethan. He was gone, a man murdered by rage and betrayal in his sickbed. Maggie became a ghost, barely touching food for days. Emily spiraled, dialing Sophia's number obsessively until, miraculously, the line connected. You heartless bitch. Emily's scream bordered on hysterics. What did you say to him? You killed my brother. And that child, it's not even his. Is it? Admit it. A beat of silence. Then peals of mocking laughter. Oh, this is rich. Remember how he jot down every doctor's instruction like some lovesick puppy? Pathetic. Emily nearly collapsed. Where's the baby? Bring him here for a DNA test. If he's not a Wilson, you'll return every cent. Who do you think you are? Sophia's voice turned arctic. That money was Ethan's dying gift. Want proof? Track me down and steal my son. Good luck. The line died. Subsequent calls rang into oblivion. Emily snapped. She stormed Sophia's last known address, only to find an empty rental. Desperate, she called the police, but the Millers had vanished like smoke. The police advised her to file a lawsuit, citing financial disputes and insufficient evidence that the verbal exchanges directly caused the death. However, the court couldn't compel the defendant to undergo paternity testing. She frantically searched for any trace of Sophia. But all leads went cold. The 2 million yuan had vanished without a trace. Sophia and her entire family disappeared into thin air. The Wilson family lost both their legacy and fortune, becoming burdened with massive debt and the laughingstock of their village. Emily had secretly drained the family savings to give to Sophia. When her husband discovered this, he divorced her and threw her out. Her own son disowned her. She and her mother Maggie returned to their rural hometown. Trapped in bitter resentment and despair, their existence worse than death itself. I closed the viral video on my phone and sent a digital red envelope to my hospital worker friend, thanking her for the real-time broadcast of this spectacular downfall. Ethan's absurd selfishness had finally brought him cosmic retribution. Deleting all footage, I erased the final image of Ethan's rage-twisted face before his death. Sweet vindication coursed through me, every ounce of suffering repaid in full.